What's going on, guys? It's Andrew here with Fast Cars, Fast Money. We're talking about Talladega Super Speedway. We got a little bit of an interesting slate today. A couple of changes. So the first change is the stage lengths. The stage one is going to be really long, and stage two and stage three are going to be shorter. So kind of flipped from what we normally see. And the reason behind that is trying to eliminate fuel mileage racing, which from a DFS perspective, if we can eliminate fuel mileage racing, it should have them be racing a little bit more aggressively, which tends to lead towards, wrecks and chaos. So because of that, even without that, even if it was just a normal Talladega, super speedway race, the main focus today is going to be place differential upside. So what you're going to hear a lot is, stack the back and the big one. And that all basically means that most of your drivers, you want to start deep in the field. Leading laps, pretty much irrelevant. The fast laps kind of get spread out throughout the field. Salary really doesn't matter. Equipment really doesn't matter that much. It really comes down to starting positions and ownership. So because of that, when we get to our driver by driver breakdown, you'll see our interest levels tend to increase the deeper in the field these drivers start. Um, so we got Reddick, Blaney, and Logano up here. Even though Reddick has been on a career season, don't want any of them for DFS purposes. Practice and qualifying got rained out, so they are starting based off of the formula. Tyler Reddick gives us no place differential upside at all. He only has downside. He could even win the race and still not make the optimal lineup because it is a place differential focus type of slate. So because of that, I don't really want to go there. Now, Ryan Blaney is going to get ownership. He's arguably the best super speedway driver in these Gen 7 cars. He does start 15th, so he does give us some place differential upside. He's a little bit more of a tournament play for that reason. Me personally, I'll have some ownership to Blaney, but I'm trying to be under the field, knowing that a lot of people are probably going to go there. Logano is going to be popular too. In between Blaney and Logano, I'd rather play Logano. He gives us 10 more place differential upside, potential points. And Penske just runs really good in general. So Penske's really good at these tracks. Logano and Blaney should work well together. Logano's a little bit cheaper and has more place differential upside. I'm basically just avoiding pretty much the entire 9K range, and maybe it's a little bit of an easy way out. But I said the same thing for all of them. I said these drivers all start inside the top 10. While yes, you can sprinkle them in for tournaments if you're going for, a takedown, none of them are going to project great. They have a lot more downside than upside. If any of these drivers are in your lineup and they wreck out, there's a good chance you are not going to cash. You could continue that down with Wallace, Keselowski, and Briscoe. Really just don't want to play guys in the top 10. Maybe you could make an argument for Chris Buescher. This is kind of around the range where our interest level starts to increase slightly. We start to get a little bit more place differential upside, but again, not really a target play. I think Cindric is interesting for tournaments. He's one of those Penske cars, so we know he's going to work well with Blaney and Logano and probably Josh Berry as well too. Cindric has been really good on the super speedways. He's probably going to see some ownership starting 13th, a little bit more of a tournament play. Trackhouse has not been having a great year, but when we get to these style of tracks, it's kind of the great equalizer. So Chastain starting 24th. I am interested in playing him today. Christopher Bell, kind of the same thing as Cindric, more of a tournament play, some upside there, but not a ton. RCR, or Kyle Busch, I should say, with RCR, kind of the same thing with Chastain. Not having a great year. The team in general isn't running well, but it's the super speedway drafting style track. He starts 34th, a lot of upside there. Hocevar and Priest kind of in the same boat, a little bit of upside. He's kind of in that same category as Chris Buescher. Not really going to see that much ownership. So if you're getting aggressive, you're playing multiple lines, you are going for it all, maybe you get one of those guys in your lineups. Stenhouse runs pretty good. He knows these are the opportunities that he and his team have to win. So they put a lot of emphasis on these tracks. And he starts 22nd, so kind of right in the middle pack of the field. Ty Gibbs starts 9th. We'll throw him into that top 10, not really want to play category. Bowman mid pack, you know, maybe he has, his upside and downside is basically equal, so he can kind of go either way. I do like Josh Berry. We know he will run with the Penske cars. He gives us a good amount of place differential upside. I think Austin Dillon makes a lot of sense for tournaments. Probably not going to be that high owned, starts mid pack. He's a decent guy to get in there. McDowell's going to be popular. He's good on these drafting style tracks. He starts deep in the field. We're going to want ownership to him. Suarez, kind of the same thing as Austin Dillon. Probably not going to see that much ownership, so maybe he's an interesting guy that you get into your GPP lineups for a leverage play. I think SVG and Connor Zillage make a lot of sense, even though they haven't been running the best. Trackhouse isn't doing that good this year. The draft helps equalize everything, and they start deep in the field right next to each other. They're going to project well. Todd Gilliland, Eric Jones, I think these are similar plays as well too. Not really going to be that popular, but they start right in the middle of the field, probably lower ownership. These are some good leverage plays to sprinkle into your GPP lineups. Zane Smith makes a lot of sense. Starts deep in the field, a lot of upside. AJ Allmendinger, kind of the same thing as the Trackhouse cars, the RCR cars. Colleague is another team that has just really been struggling this year, starting 28th and being on a drafting style track should help him. John Hunter Nemechek, I think, is in the same boat as Gillen and Jones, a little bit more of a tournament play. Likely won't see that much ownership. Gregson, I think, makes a lot of sense. Jesse Love, even though he's in a third RCR car, we typically don't see the 33 car run that well, but he starts so deep in the field, he really just has to finish the race to score you positive points. And if he doesn't finish well, or if he wrecks out, you still have a really good chance of cashing versus if you play like a Ty Gibbs in ninth who wrecks out, like you're going to get a lot of negative points, and that's really going to kill your line. So you're kind of banking on these wrecks to have these guys starting deep advance their position. But even if we don't get wrecks, like you still want place differential upside. That's really still the focus. Just the wrecks help these guys, gain that many more positions. Um, Riley Herbst's probably going to be one of the lowest owned plays on the slate today based off of his price and where he starts. Don't mind them for tournaments. Ty Dillon, I like him. Cole Custer, I think, is a really good pivot play, from some of these chalky guys that start in the 20s and 30s. A lot of people aren't going to want to play Cole Custer, and he starts right next to some of these guys for way less ownership. So I like him a lot. A lot of people are afraid to play these back marker cars as well, too. Of them, I would probably lean on Cody Ware the most, but I think you can also get to Daniel Dye, Chad Fincham, and Joey Gase. My only concern with Dye, Fincham, and Gase is their equipment. Will they be able to make it to the finish line? That is always a concern. So, pretty straightforward video. Maybe this isn't super helpful. Maybe nothing new that you've learned here, but I am looking forward to see how that stage adjustment affects the racing. Hopefully, for DFS purposes, it is a little bit more of a chaotic style race that allows this stack to back, strategy to pay off. So, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the race and best of luck today, and we will catch you next weekend.